Alright guys, so again, this is more on Unit 2. It's Chapter 2, but I'm trying to switch everything to units. This is kind of wrapping everything up. So we're going to talk about the symbols that we've seen. Remember, the right arrow is our if-then statement. That's what we consider our conditional statement. And so if we're going to use it in symbols, it's going to be P, right arrow, Q. The double arrow is our biconditional. So remember, this is our if and only if statement. And we write that as such. P, if and only if Q. This is our not symbol. So, we have not P, not Q. A couple others we want to add. We have therefore, we have and we have or. And so we can write P therefore Q. We could say P and Q, and we could say P or Q. So again, it sticks with the whole if-then idea. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to take these 5 problems and I want to use symbols to make these statements. So this first one says, if you make good grades, then you study for your test. P is you make good grades. Q is you study for your test. And since it's if-then, it's P, right arrow, Q. Take a couple minutes and see if you can do 2 through 5 on your own. After you've checked it, go ahead. You're going to pause the video. After you've checked it, unpause the video, and the answers will be there. Alright, so here I broke everything down into halves. If you are grounded, then you did not make good grades. And that helped me figure out where the split was. You study for the test if and only if you make good grades. Double arrow. You are grounded, not are, that's important, and you make good grades. P. You don't study for the test, so not Q, or you are not grounded. So down arrow, and then R. Hopefully you were able to have some success, but I just wanted to show it to you. Okay. Another thing that we want to practice, not R, then S. How do I write the converse? Hopefully you just said flip it. How do I write the inverse? Hopefully you said not. How do I write the contrapositive? Well, hopefully you said both, where I just flipped the not. Okay. The other thing that we want to talk about is Venn diagrams. We've seen them a little bit in this chapter, so I want to take some time and look at them right now. A Venn diagram can be set up, and typically you see Venn diagrams and they're like this. And they're broken into 3 parts. Okay? And then sometimes you have like a box, and so we can add a 4th part. So we want to talk about the words all, some, and none. In a Venn diagram, all is when your entire hypothesis fits into your conclusion. This is areas 1 and 2. Nope, I'm sorry. This is area number 3. Some is when only part of your hypothesis fits your conclusion. This is area 1 and 2. And none is when your hypothesis and your conclusion don't meet at all. And this is area 4. So the Venn diagram shows the number of neighborhoods that have a curbside recycling program for paper or aluminum. And we're going to add a number outside. 50. So the question is, how many neighborhoods recycle both paper and aluminum? So this is this "and" that we're talking about. So it has to recycle both in order for it to count. Well, that's 46. But then this question of "or" comes up. And it's how many neighborhoods recycle paper or aluminum? And what you have to ask yourself is, does this recycle paper or aluminum? The answer is yes. Does this group recycle paper or aluminum? Answer is yes. Does these people recycle paper or aluminum? And the answer is yes. Just because they recycle both doesn't mean they don't do just one. And we talked about that with the 30 days example earlier in class this week. So since the answer is yes to all three of these, for "or," you're going to add all three numbers together. The time where you're only going to get one of them is a question like in C, where it says how many recycle paper but not aluminum. And that's the answer. That's 12. I want to add in some other ideas. How many don't recycle at all? Well, that's what the 50's for. How many recycle aluminum but not paper? That's what the 20's for. How many recycle aluminum? Well, it's everything in this circle. How many recycle paper? It's everything in this circle. What I'm going to tell you as well is that you might see a situation where you get a third circle and maybe we're going to recycle glass. And I'm not going to ask you to necessarily give me a number. I'm going to ask you to show me a zone where it shows who recycles glass and paper but not aluminum. Well, that would be this one right here. So I might give you a question where I tell you to shade. And remember, this is where people recycle glass and paper but not aluminum. And we'll practice this some more over the course of the next couple weeks. But since you've had it before, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. But just remember, "and" typically means both or all three. "Or" means if it doesn't at all, give it credit. And then "but not" is the most specific. And so that's what you have to remember when you see Venn diagrams. Any questions? Come see me. Let me help you out. We can talk about it some more. I can give you another example if you'd like. Whatever it's going to do to make sure you're successful. Thanks.